There's something happening in China right now that I can't stop thinking about, and it's stranger and further along than most people realize. We're not talking about robots in a factory line bolting cars together behind a fence. We're talking about machines built to look like us, sound like us, warm to the touch like us, and slide into the jobs and little social moments that used to belong to actual people. Greeting you at the bank, pouring your drink, learning your name, and honestly, some of what I found genuinely impressed me even when it unsettled me. Stick with me because I'll show you the exact moment where kind of a gimmick turns into, wait, this could actually work. And if you find this fascinating as I do, hit subscribe now so you don't miss where this is all heading. Let's get into it. Now, before we get to the robots with skin, I have to start with something already fully operational because it sets up everything else. China's live shopping industry is enormous, projected to top $1 trillion in 2026, where people buy everything from printers to a face cream by watching someone hype it up on a live stream. For years, that meant a real human host, a studio, lights, a crew. A top human host can charge upwards of $10,000 for a single session, which basically locked smaller sellers out. Then the AI hosts showed up and they didn't leave. JD.com alone reported its digital human sellers past 70,000, and here's the part that gets me. These avatars don't need to be perfect. They just need to be good enough to keep a stream running at 3 in the morning when no human wants to be on a camera. They fill the dead hours and quietly rack up sales that would otherwise never happen, hitting up to 80% of the sales of human hosts at a fraction of the cost. Last year, one Chinese influencer ran a 7-hour stream using an AI avatar of himself and pulled in around $7.5 million. That's the key to this whole video. The AI live streamer doesn't win by being indistinguishable from a person. It wins by being cheap, tireless, and just convincing enough. And that good enough bar is about to walk off the screen and into the real world on 2 legs. This is the one that broke the internet in China. Early this year, a Shanghai startup called DroidUp unveiled a humanoid named Moya, describing her as the world's first fully biomimetic embodied intelligent robot. Big words, and here's what they mean because the spec sheet is wild. Moya stands about 5.5 feet tall and weighs only around 70 pounds, shockingly light for a fully sized humanoid. She's wrapped in silicone skin, and here's what everyone's fixated on. That skin is heated. It runs at roughly 90 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit, so 32 to 36 degrees Celsius, which is genuine human body temperature range. Shake your hand and it doesn't feel cold and dead like, say, metal. It feels warm. Underneath, DroidUp added padding meant to mimic human fat and muscle built around a ribcage-like structure with a flexible spine so she doesn't move like a mannequin. Now, behind each eye, there's a working camera. Those cameras track your face in real time, and Moya mirrors your expressions back. She smiles, she nods, she tilts her head like she's listening, and she does those tiny micro-expressions we read subconsciously at attention. Over 25 actuators in her face make that happen, and the headline number DroidUp keeps repeating is 92% human-like walking gait, which matters because there's a point where your brain stops analyzing how something moves and just starts responding to it socially. Now, I'll be straight with you, that 92% comes from DroidUp's own marketing. No independent third party has verified it, and people who saw her in person said that the walk still had some mechanical stiffness, but even skeptics admitted that the movement was smoother than most humanoids out there. The skeleton she's built on, Walker 3, is the successor to a robot that finished 3rd in the world's first humanoid half marathon in Beijing in 2025. The walking pedigree is, therefore, real. The price is around $173,000 per unit, and DroidUp isn't aiming her at your living room. The targets are institutions, hospitals, elder care, banks, museums, train stations, places where a warm, patient presence that can greet, guide, and pour a drink has value. And here's the honest wrinkle. DroidUp is tiny, roughly 2 years old, around 32 employees, and of the $28.5 million they've raised, nearly nearly half is already gone. Whether it survives to deliver at scale is a real open question, but as a signpost for where things are going, Moya is loud and it's clear. Now, here's a shift in thinking I find genuinely clever from a company called Headform. For years, the robotics race was about mobility and strength. Can it walk? Can it lift? Can it not fall over? Headform basically said that the real frontier isn't the legs, it's the face. They released videos of a robotic head, part of their origin line, that blinks, glances around the room, and shifts its gaze with this unsettlingly natural quality. Under the synthetic skin, they pack up to 25 brushless micromotors, some designs up to 30 artificial muscles, all driving these delicate expressions. The whole point is to nail the tiny emotional cues humans do without thinking, the stuff that makes you feel like someone's home behind the eyes. But the part that stopped me cold is their mission. Headform openly talks about giving humanity a second body, serving as a digital legacy and an AI companion. The heads are modular, the identities are interchangeable, which means in theory that you could recreate a specific person's face. Their founder told reporters that synthetic humans, barely distinguishable from real people, are closer than most of us realize, and that within 10 years we might interact with robots almost as peers. Now, the piece that quietly makes all of this work, because a pretty face is nothing without a memory behind it. A US company, Realbotics, delivered its first robot running a system called Vinci to the telecom giant Ericsson last April. This is where you see exactly how a robot displaces a person in a customer-facing role. Cameras are embedded right in the eyes, so the robot holds real eye contact while it scans the room. But the clever bit is what it does with that. Vinci lets the robot recognize people it's met before, recall previous conversations, and pick them right back up. Instead of "please hold while I transfer you," it's more like, "Hey, last time you mentioned some network issues, how did that turn out?" It reads emotional cues, tracks how engaged you are, and quietly logs engagement analytics on every single human it talks to. That's not a novelty. That's a worker who never forgets a face, never has a bad day, and hands you the spreadsheet afterwards. And then there's Uptech, and this is where it gets both bigger and, I'll admit it, a little heavier. Last June 30th, Uptech launched its UWorld U1 series in Shenzhen and called it the world's first full-size mass-produced ultra-bionic humanoid robot. The word that matters is mass-produced, not a one-off demo. 3 models, prices starting around $16,500, roughly the cost of an entry-level car, and on launch day, they already logged over 13,000 orders. The U1 has silicon skin with visible pores and veins, 88 degrees of freedom, and a face that does hundreds of micro-expressions. It runs an emotion-aware AI model. Uptech claims reads over 20 distinct emotional states at 90% accuracy, reacting in about half a second with a local memory system that learns your routines. And Uptech is explicit that this is aimed at loneliness. They point to more than 90 million adults in China living alone and 118 million empty nest seniors. And then comes the feature I don't know how to feel about. Through their companionship initiative, Uptech plans to build customized units that use 3D facial reconstruction and voice print replication to recreate a specific named real person. A husband who passed away, a child who moved across the world. Combined with that memory and emotion model, the goal is a silicon robot that looks, sounds, and responds like someone you've lost. The intent is compassionate, and I truly believe that, but it's also almost beat for beat a Black Mirror episode that already exists, and that's a line where we need to slow down and talk about the ethics before the product ships, not after it ships. Now, it's time for me to pull this together because underneath all these companies, there's one idea doing the heavy lifting. None of these machines need to fully pass as human. They just need to clear the bar for one specific interaction. Greeting you, guiding you through a museum, museum, remembering your last visit, sitting with someone who's lonely. The wheeled home robots I came across from companies like UniX AI and Giga AI are the same story in a different room, chopping vegetables and loading laundry, handling multi-step chores rather than one trick, good enough at a task, and quietly moving into real homes and lobbies. And notice how the hard problems have moved. It used to be legs and lifting. Now the decisive challenges are faces, warmth, memory, and whether we'll actually let one of these things stand next to us without flinching. That's a very different race, and China is clearly sprinting in it. Here's my honest take, and I'll own the optimism. A lot of this is genuinely good. A patient greeter that frees up overworked hospital staff, a warm presence for an elderly person who'd otherwise spend the night alone, a tireless helper in a home that needs one. That's real value, and the pace of progress is thrilling. I just think that the companionship of the dead corner needs a much harder conversation than it's actually getting, and I'd rather we'd have it loudly and very clearly, and also early. This technology will keep expanding from demos into ordinary life, whether we're paying attention or not, and I'd rather we'd all be paying attention. So that's where I land. Impressed, a little uneasy, and completely hooked. If this gave you something to chew on, do me a quick favor and smash that like button because it helps more than you think, and subscribe so you can catch the next chapter. And I want to hear from you. Would you let a robot like this greet you at the bank? Would you ever want one built to look like someone you loved? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.